Good morning, grade 9. Grade 9 is a new year with more challenges because you're not the babies in the school, the grade 8s, but you're also not the senior people in grade 10, 11 and 12. So sometimes you have a lot of issues that you have to work through. In accounting, you must ensure that you work quickly, that you can finish your test, and that you don't sit for hours doing a question that you're supposed to do in 20 minutes. Secondly, you must do work for an hour non-stop without any breaks so that you can teach your brain to concentrate better, that you will be able to write your test in 3 weeks in an hour, because then you will have an hour for it. I explained the concepts to the grade 8s in detail, so I also loaded it up for the grade 9s. It's very important to know all these concepts, so please go and look at the concepts and see what I explained to them. Make sure you understand it. It's going to help you for the future. Your work will be much easier if you understand the different concepts. And if you don't understand something, please ask the teacher so that you can ensure that you understand everything. So please look at the video that I made for the grade 8s on the concepts. Now in grade 9, you also have to know how to classify the different expenses, assets, income in the business. So if I tell you, for instance, that we bought stationery, you have to decide what is stationery. So stationery is not an asset, because if I use up my pen and paper, I don't have anything. So stationery is an expense for me because it will decrease my profits. If I, for instance, look at equipment, I buy equipment because I want to use it in the business over a long period of time. This equipment, I have control over it because I bought it, and in the future it will generate income. So there will be an inflow of money in the business, so it means that is an asset. Okay, so for instance, we look at inventory. I buy inventory because I want to sell it at a profit. So the inventory, I have control over it because I bought it. In the future there will be an income because I'm going to sell it, so there will be an inflow of money, so that will also be an asset. Now we have two assets here. The equipment is going to stay the same value for more than 12 months in the future, so that will be a non-current asset. Anything that will not change within 12 months. Inventory we buy and we sell, and we buy and we sell the whole year, so it means the inventory is a current asset. If we look at interest, interest is money that I have to pay on a loan, or I owe money to the creditors and I didn't pay it in time, so I have to pay interest to them. So interest is expense because it will decrease my profits. Creditors, people that we buy from on credit. So we receive the inventory or the assets that we bought from them, and we owe them money. So what will happen? In the future I have to pay them, so there will be an outflow of money in the future, so it means creditors is liabilities. Okay, then if I get a loan, I can get two different loans. The one loan is, for instance, when I get a mortgage loan, I give my house as security and I get 20 to 30 years to pay it back. A loan I can obtain to buy assets and a vehicle, and that means I have to pay it back in a month or 2 months or 3 months. So it means that this is money going out in the future, so this is also a liability. Now on a loan, I will get a longer time, 54 months or 10 years or whatever, according to the agreement. So the loan or the mortgage loan is a non-current liability because I will have more than 12 months to pay it back. Creditors is a current liability because I have to pay them back on a monthly basis. Otherwise, they won't sell to me again. So, for instance, I have a building and I don't use the whole building and I sublet part of the building, then I will receive rent income. That will increase my profits, so it is classified as an income. So you must be able to classify any entry that they tell you, and you must indicate whether it's an asset, a liability, income or expense, and they can ask you in a task, for instance, that you must explain why it is like that. Okay, if we look at the trading account, you must also be able to determine what is the difference between the gross profit and the net profit. So in the trading account, I will show my cost of sales, so the cost price of the goods that was already sold. I will show my sales price. Now remember, the difference between the sales price and the cost price means that is the profit percentage that I added to the cost price, and that will give me my gross profit. So gross profit is calculated between the cost price of the goods and the price at which it was sold, the sales price. Then I will get a profit and loss account. In this profit and loss, I will first transfer that gross profit to my profit and loss. Then any income that I have, I will add to my gross profit, and any expenses that I paid, I will subtract from my profit. So it means I take the gross profit, add any other income, subtract the expenses, and that will give me the net profit. So they can ask you to explain what is the difference between the gross profit and the net profit. The gross profit is the difference between the cost price of the goods that we sold and the sales price. The net profit is the gross profit plus any other income less the expenses. Okay, what you must also be able to do in this first test and task is distinguish between the different types of businesses. So we have a sole trader. That means he's the only owner in the business. There's only one person. If there's losses, he will have to pay for the losses. If there's a profit, he's the only person that will receive that profit. Then we get a partnership, and in a partnership you need more than one person. So you can sign a partnership with another person, then you two people in the partnership, and if you need more money or you need people with more skills, you can add to the partnership up to 20 partners. In the partnership, the different partners will add to the benefit of the business for different things. So they have different skills, and each one will apply their specific skills to make this business successful. And the profit will be divided according to the profit sharing ratio or the partnership agreement that will indicate exactly what percentage each partner will get in the business. If you need a very big business because you need a lot of money, you will start a company. And in a company, they sell shares. So they can sell, if it's a big company, to 1 million people or 500,000 people. So there's no number that you can say that's the maximum that they're allowed to. So it depends on the shares. So the shares means if I buy 100 shares out of 500 total shares that was issued, then 20% of this business belongs to me because I bought shares worth 20%. And when they divide the profits, they will divide it according to the number of shares that you have in the company. Okay, so I explained the other concepts that was not explained to the grade 8s, so that you're just sure about the different things that you have to be able to do in grade 11. Please listen to the grade 8 videos so that you ensure that you understand all the concepts. Concentrate on the amount of time that you work on these things so that you can teach yourself to do this whole task in an hour, because your test is also an hour. So you have to be able to do this whole task in the test in an hour. Okay, secondly, make sure that you concentrate for a full hour. So teach your brain in the next 3 or 4 weeks until you write the test to concentrate without any disturbances, so that you will be able to concentrate in the test for an hour. That's very important. Time management and productivity and how long you take and how good you can concentrate is not something that comes naturally. You have to practice it. It's not suddenly going to appear when you write the test. So concentrate on that for the next 2-3 weeks, and that will help you to finish your test in time, get good marks, and make sure that you understand all the concepts to make it easier for the rest of the year. Good luck to you. I'll speak to you next week again on the test that you will be writing.